like you a little later?
Hey.
I'll let you play with my...
Well, welcome everyone to Cult of Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Michael.
And most importantly, welcome to BruceFest. Woo! And you guys, this is, I think officially, the largest crowd we've ever been in front of for a podcast.
That's right.
Wow, give yourselves a round of applause. Wow, ruckus.
We'll add some more claps in the post.
Hopefully we didn't pop the sound on that one. But so yeah, we're Cult of Campbell. We are the #1 Bruce Campbell podcast in the world. You can look it up. #1 Bruce Campbell podcast in the world. It's a fact.
It is Googleable.
What we usually do here with Cult of Campbell is we review Bruce's movies. We're going through his entire filmography from TV to film, and we break them down on a rating system that is groovy, not groovy, and the honorary, the prestigious, certified groovy.
Certified groovy.
It don't mean shit without our certified groovy on it.
It does not mean shit.
It's a unanimous groovy.
There might be some controversial certified groovy ratings out there, and there might be some controversial not groovy ratings, but at the end of the day, we have a rating system. We stick to it. We don't rate the quality of the movie.
Nope.
That's not what we do. We rate the quality of Campbell.
That's right.
So all of our ratings are based on how good Bruce was in that movie. So
if you go back and listen to our earlier podcast, just know I had no involvement in the Evil Dead rating.
yes, Mike had no involvement. Alien Apocalypse. Have you guys seen Alien Apocalypse? Never seen it. Oh, you've seen Alien Apocalypse. That is a certified groovy.
Yep.
Not the best movie, but Bruce steals the show in that one. That is like prime Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell in that. So
Primo Campbell.
that got a groovy. Now, probably the most controversial rating you'll find.
Oh no.
Episode 1, Evil Dead. We rated it not groovy.
Eric gave it a groovy.
Eric tried to say
the groovy.
Just know
Only
again,
on the yeah, that's a controversial one.
You got to remember. Okay, I'll do it for him. It's the quality of Campbell. You
The
can't
movie.
tell me that was the best quality of Campbell we've gotten.
He
He
fought
did.
a shelf. He fought a shelf.
I think part of the problem.
But when you say Evil Dead 2 was a better quality, Bruce?
Well, it's not that it's better or worse. I think the problem was in my Bruce Campbell watching experience. I bounced around a lot between Evil Dead 2, which is my favorite of the Evil Dead films, and when you compare that Ash to our 1981 Ash, it's a pretty large comparison. It pales in comparison. And we got some nods.
I cannot believe you brought this up.
It's like with the first Evil Dead, he was actually trying to be a very serious.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas with Evil Dead 2, it came off so, it was just hilarious.
He
Right.
chewed the scenery in that one. Smashed the scenery.
Oh yeah.
Went through the scenery in that one. So usually what we do is we'll review a movie, and then we go through and we dissect it, just
Kinda walk
basically
through the plot.
act by act.
Yep.
And at the end of it, we come up with the quality of Campbell. Now, obviously, we're not going to do that here because it's a different format. We've never done a live show. This was kind of just sprung on us a couple of days ago. They said, "Hey, would you guys do a live show?" You can't say no to that. We're at BruceFest.
Heck yeah.
Again, still the largest crowd we've ever performed.
Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
here in the Stanley Hotel concert hall, and we were sitting up in the VIP section. They have a wall of posters of all the acts that have been here, and we'll have to send them a poster of Cult of Campbell now to add to that illustrious wall of people who have been on this stage in front of all these people. But what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about 3 hidden gems in Bruce's filmography, because we've all saw Evil Dead, we've all seen Bubba Hotep, we've all seen Army of Darkness, but there is some truly amazing films and appearances that Bruce has that go under the radar because they're not those movies. So I'm going to bring up one right now, the first one. Has anyone ever seen Assault on Dome 4? You've seen Assault on Dome
All
4. Have you ever
right.
seen Assault on Dome 4? So in the 90s, we had, well, it's an 80s movie, right? Die Hard?
Die Hard?
Yeah.
An 80s movie? I believe that was
It was an 80s movie. So Die Hard comes out, Bruce Willis blows the box office away, and it started a trend where every studio needed a Die Hard. They needed that movie. And it was only a matter of time before Bruce found his way into a Die Hard knockoff, maybe you want to call it? Homage? Maybe?
If you want to call it
Reimagining?
Vibe?
that vibe.
So Assault on Dome 4 is just that. It is a Die Hard clone. I don't want to say knockoff. I don't want to associate Bruce with that term, but
Yeah.
it is a very close to Die Hard movie. Basically, it takes place on a base in space. It takes Die Hard and puts it in space, which is a pretty good concept. That is a pretty awesome concept. Execution-wise, leaves a lot to be desired, especially with the main character. I don't know the actor's name. Chase Morin, who I called John McClane, I feel is the perfect moniker for him. The most boring leading man I've ever seen. And this movie was supposed to be a franchise kickoff. It was going to kick off a Chase Moran Adventures. The original title to Assault on Dome 4 is Assault on Dome 4, a Chase Moran Adventure. So they had big plans for Chase Moran. Didn't pan out. So the problem with casting a very bland actor in your leading role is you can't put him up against somebody that's far superior.
You know,
And
we could save that, Tyler. Let's just take a reboot back to Bulgaria, and we'll get that title going. What was the original title supposed to be again?
For
Assault on Dome 4.
Assault on Dome 4,
And what was the rest of it?
Chase Moran Adventure.
Yeah, let's just start that in Bulgaria. We'll bring that back.
I couldn't think of a better idea.
We can make him famous.
Yeah. So they decided to cast in a villain role Bruce Campbell as Alex Wyndham.
Alex Wyndham.
Alex Wyndham. And man, the one thing that really makes me mad about this movie, the movie, not that great. Bruce Campbell, fucking amazing.
So good. He was such a great villain.
Amazing
Maniacal.
villain. Amazing, maniacal. So his whole motivation in the movie is he's basically the worst man to ever lived. He's done it all. He's basically, any crime you can think of, he's done it. And he's escaped every prison that he's ever been put in.
Yep. Even space prisons.
Even space prisons. And he escapes Dome 4 with one of the most elaborate escapes I've ever seen. What he does is he swallowed a explosive rigatoni, I think what it was, a rigatoni noodle
little tiny
that he
device.
spits out and explodes the warden, and also, in effect, kills all the guards
Yep.
in the vicinity. So that allows him to escape. Now, his reasoning for escaping is that in this world they've built in Assault on Dome 4, they have also discovered a planet with humanoid beings who are primitive. They're underdeveloped humans. So Alex Wyndham,
Yep.
his plan is to commandeer a spacecraft, go to that planet, and be a god, and shape the world in his image. Because they're primitive. They're subhumans. So
Yeah.
he has the opportunity to come there and be advanced. Show up with a flashlight or a lighter and bring him fire and kick off everything.
I have made fire.
He can be Christ, for all we know.
I would live in that world. I would be happy living under the shade
Overall,
of that chin.
When it comes to living in the world of Alex Wyndham's and Chase Morans, I will always choose the world of Alex Wyndham. Shape my world, Bruce. I don't care. He's done it already.
Yep.
For the most part. I think a lot of us he's done that for. But that's the plot behind that. And it is the most colorful, maniacal villain you've ever seen. He's constantly spouting Shakespeare. He's very eloquent with his words. And he just kills everybody for no reason.
Yep. Just dumps him out into space or kills him cruelly. But what I love is, like, oftentimes he was, like, misquoting people, but he thought he was so smart. Oh, it was so good.
That's one of the best bits in the movie is when he takes Chase Moran's wife, and I think he quotes, he believes he's quoting Shakespeare, and she corrects him that that's not Shakespeare. And it's a really good bit because you see like the crack in this maniacal persona. So that's really cool. Now, again, it's a hard one to find. I don't think it was ever released on, I think it might have been released on DVD, like way back in the early run of DVDs. But you can find the whole thing if you look hard enough on YouTube. The whole thing is on there. So if you guys have YouTube, which I assume most of you do, go on YouTube. You can find Assault on Dome 4. It's an hour and a half. It's a treat. Hour and a half. There's probably about 35 minutes of good stuff in there. So take for what you will.
So we still need to make our supercut then, but we talked about that. Make a supercut of Bruce of Assault on Dome 4.
Now the second role that we're going to talk about briefly here is one of, so Evil Dead, we all know as Bruce's first like big feature role. It's not his first role because he's done a bunch of short films leading up to that. Yep. But his second movie he ever did was a film called Going Back.
Going Back,
Has anyone ever seen that?
No. Oh, so this is a good one. I loved this movie. 1983, written and directed by a man named John Teachworth, and you won't find any other movies that he's directed. It's really the only one he ever did. I think it was a student film that he got a budget for it or something like that.
Very student film vibes.
Yeah. And then Ron just kind of went on to be an artist after that. And it kind of shows in this film, it's not an action-heavy film. It's about...
no action at all.
You're right. Yeah. There isn't any.
It's a drama.
Yeah.
A coming-of-age drama.
Yep. It's about two high school graduates. One of them is played by Bruce. The name is... his character's name was Christopher Howe. And him and his buddy... I didn't put his name down here, and I can't remember
his buddy, who... for the longest time, and still even after watching the movie, if you see the cover of Going Back, it shows Bruce and the friend. And every time I see it, I think it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I'm always thinking, like, what is Bruce Campbell and Jean-Claude Van Damme doing in this coming-of-age teen drama that I've never heard of? It's not Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he looks a lot like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah. And every time I get this little, I trick myself into thinking, like, where's this? Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bruce Campbell in a coming-of-age drama.
Have they even been in a movie together?
I don't believe they
No,
have.
I don't believe so.
No.
I don't believe so.
But so the two of them, they go on like a post-graduation little cross-country trek, and they end up in this very small little rural area, and they get to know a couple of people, and it's very much about like just the relationships, and the dialogue is very well done, and Bruce's performance is incredible. He's kind of he's a bit of a ladies' man, of course,
Right.
But first half of the movie is them spending their time there, and then there's a bit of a time jump. I'm gonna give you guys some spoilers here.
A very weird. A weird part is a lot of the movie. So it starts with them trekking across Michigan, I believe, right? Because Bruce.
Yep.
They're trekking across Michigan because they're basically like this is the summer after they graduated, and they're going to go find themselves before they go to college, and figure out who they are. And for some reason, they end up on a random plot of land where just this old hermit lives. This old man lives in a trailer.
Yep.
In that's a mobile home. And that's where the movie takes place. He lets them stay in his shed, and they just help him around his little plot of land, and they find love. And
get to know him and one of the local girls. Bruce's character gets to know one of the local girls, and then eventually it's time for them to go home and go off to college. And then we get a time jump. I think it was even a little more than halfway through the movie. And this is why it's called Going Back, because they kind of run into each other again, and we see these two characters find each other again, and they decide to go back. And they see just how things have either changed or maybe weren't quite the way that they remember it. And what got me about this movie was that's kind of a lot of how I feel life is sometimes. It's you have these very special moments that you can't really get back, even if you do try to go back and do that. And so it's a little bit of it's a little heartbreaking, but it's a very heartfelt movie.
Made you existential?
It made me feel existential and cry a single man tear.
It made me feel pretentious when I watched it.
You felt pretentious?
I felt a little, which is why I imagine you like it.
Eric loves those deeper meanings. He
loves
needs
deeper
the overarching
meanings.
theme. He needs it just to speak more than just a film.
Deeper meanings, pretentious. Potato. I mean, it's whatever.
Like you went to film school or something and dropped out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dropped out of it. So,
Well. But Yeah, it's a very sweet movie. It's a different kind of movie. It reminds me of a movie I really love, Good Will Hunting. You ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of got those vibes. I mean, it takes place in the fall, and it's just one of those movies. It's very much about just growing and finding yourself, and it's a very different kind of Bruce. There's no blood splatter. There's no decapitating girlfriends. He doesn't lose a hand or replace it with any sort of tool at any point. So that was kind of a letdown for me. There's several times where he's using tools,
So
and I was
there's
thinking, wouldn't it be
improvements
easier if
can be made
he
here.
mounted that to his hand? But he never does. And I thought that was kind of a missing part of that movie. But
So if
But
you were writing
the-
it, you
the-
could have made it a little better.
It
right?
shows-
yeah. I think most movies can be improved when the character attaches some form of hardware to their
Well,
to a
one of their-
limb.
it
to a
did
limb.
not.
limbs,
We've,
yeah.
as we learned, that's not always the case because it did not help things killing 3.
Oh, it did not help things killing 3.
So
We don't need to.
No.
no, just the act of attaching a chainsaw to a hand does not make it a great movie.
Well, to be fair, he didn't attach it to his hand that one. Has anyone seen
Oh,
Things
yeah.
Killing 3? Has anyone seen Things Killing 3?
Don't
Don't watch it.
do that.
You
to
seen Things
yourself.
Killing 3?
The kill count of it.
That's good. Just
That's
keep
good.
it there.
Stay
Yeah.
there.
Don't watch
with
the
it.
kill
If you
count
see
for
them kill
things-
count, that's where
yeah.
you live with that in your brain.
Now the first Thanksgiving movie, I won't delve too far into because I don't want to go off track, but the first Thanksgiving movie is a true classic, in my opinion, but Thanksgiving 3 is a god-awful movie in every aspect of it. But the third hidden gem of Bruce we're going to talk about. Has anyone here ever seen X-Files?
Oh,
X-Files.
yeah, of
It's a
course, yeah.
great show. It's one of my favorite comfort shows to just sit around and binge. I'm a 90s baby, so I was always brought up on X-Files. My dad was a big X-Files guy, so it has a special place in my heart. So Bruce actually guest stars in a episode called Terms of Endearment, where he plays the character of Wayne Wineside. Now, the interesting thing about this is this episode, it's an hour long, and it does a really good job of taking this character, and you hate him, you love him. It's a really nice arc because it starts off where he's just this two-timing bastard of all things. You find out he's got like 2 families. Well, it starts out he's lost a child. Him and his wife lose a child, and you see him heartbroken over it. So you're like, man, that sucks. And you find out like he has a second wife that he's like run around on, and then you find out she's pregnant, and you're like, man, this guy is a real asshole. But then over the course of the episode, you kind of find out that it's this really tragic story where he is basically haunted, right? He's possessed. Isn't that what it is?
I think he's just a demon.
I think he is
Yeah,
just-
just
He's a demon that just wants to have a little demon baby.
Yep. Yeah,
But
a
these
normal
human
family.
women
The American dream, really.
yeah, these human women can't support his demon seed. So it's a tragic story. It's all
really
he
makes you
wants.
sympathetic for
All
a
he
demon,
wants
you
is
know?
to spread his demon spawn across the world. But these
I mean, who
human
doesn't?
women can't support his demon seed. It's a tragic tale.
Yeah, and
You
so
hate to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while, we think he's the villain of the story, and then we find
Yeah.
out that there really is another. He's being played himself. So
Yeah, there's a she demon
she
who's
demon.
worse than the he demon in
Yep.
this. And
and we get a really good scene with him at the towards the end where it's
he sheds, he cries.
Yeah.
You get to see Bruce cry, not Evil Dead cry. Like it's like sincere, like losing a child,
just a
like
broken man. He's such a good actor. Just just seeing him in that show, kind of going from like he was playing off of Mulder really well. Those two had a really good back and forth going for a little bit, and then seeing him just kind of like his life falls apart around him, and just seeing this broken guy being confronted, by his demons. I guess.
Go ahead, Eric. Give me that deeper meaning. What is it?
deeper
Just
meaning.
fighting your demons inside.
the thing with Eric
Inner
is
demons and- yeah,
if you give Eric an inch to pull some sort of deeper meaning out of it, he'll pull a mile. This will eventually turn into a Christ allegory.
Actually, just name
some
any
point.
movie real quick. Just any movie. Wow, y'all blanked on all movies. All Maniac Cop.
Maniac Cop 2.
So where
Maniac
is the
Cop.
Christ allegory in Maniac Cop, Eric?
That's easy. That's a
Okay.
resurrection movie.
It is a resurrection movie.
It is a
correct.
resurrection
He is
movie.
Jesus
Right,
Christ
yeah,
himself.
Yeah, the Maniac Cop is the one who.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
There you
Wild,
go.
Find that one.
West.
You know what? Controversial. I love that movie still. I don't care. It's just, people hate it. I'm like, no, I love that. I don't care.
Ooh, it's been a while since I've seen Wild Wild West.
There's
but,
two schools of thought on Wild Wild West, and I feel like there's a correct viewpoint of it, and there's a incorrect viewpoint of Wild Wild West.
And I just so happen to hold the correct one. That's all.
I'm just going to say that these guys give me too much credit. It's not very hard for me to find a deeper meaning than what they're willing to go into.
Actually, Wild Wild West is when we started beta recordings. We still have a beta recording
we do
of
have
Wild
a recording
Wild
of that.
West where we rated the quality of Will Smith, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've talked about 3 hidden gems of Bruce, but
Did they get all certified groovies? What was the
I
first one?
believe they all. I know X-Files was certified groovy.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That performance
Assault on
killed it.
Dome 4 was a certified groovy, and I think Going Back was. I think those are all
yeah.
certified
Oh, yeah.
groovies. You can find those on our podcast. Now we talked about those 3 hidden gems, and that opens up an opportunity for us to talk about a different kind of list. Roles that Bruce didn't get. So we know Bruce as Ash Williams. We know as Bubba Hotep. We know him as Alex Wyndham from Assault on Dome 4. We know him as a lot of people.
Yep.
I'm blanking on it.
Christopher Howe and Going Back.
Christopher Howe and
Of course.
Going Back.
Definitely
Elvis.
watch Going Back, seriously.
Elvis,
It's a great
yeah.
movie.
So, but there's certain roles that Bruce at one time was up for that I think could have vastly changed the trajectory of where we see him now. The first one I think to bring up, so we just talked about X-Files.
Yep.
If anyone here is a fan of X-Files, you'll know around season 7, going into season 8, there was a major shift in the show where Fox Mulder, who I think is one of the best characters in TV history, leaves the show. So now you're left with this gap in the show that needs to be filled. Who is our new hero? And that brings in the character of Agent John Doggett, who for the longest time was considered a major controversial character in the show. A lot of people hated him. I think here in the recent years, as people went back to look at the show, they kind of showed more appreciation for him. And Robert Patrick, who you'll probably know mainly from Terminator 2. People really did not like that at the time, but now people have kind of grown to like it. At one point, there was a different man in line to play that role.
Oh, who was that?
Who?
Bruce Campbell.
What?
Bruce Campbell,
Did you see that
the
plot
lead
twist
role.
coming?
Yeah. Who would have thought we'd be talking about Bruce Campbell on the Call to Campbell?
Called a Campbell.
He was at one time considered to be the actor to portray John Doggett. Now, there was 2 major factors that kept him from getting this role. The first one, which I would think would be an obvious one, is that 2 seasons prior, he had played the character of Alex Wyndham.
Or Wayne Wyndham.
Wayne
Or
Wineside. Wayne Wineside.
Winesider. Yeah.
Now, that's not always a deal breaker, because I've seen it in different shows where actors will play multiple characters throughout the show, especially when it's a one-off. Because as much as I enjoyed the role of Wayne Winesider, it was a one-off Monster of the Week episode. A lot of people probably wouldn't remember it. I binge-watched X-Files for years and didn't register that was Bruce Campbell for the longest time.
Yeah.
So that wasn't necessarily a deal breaker on that, but it was a factor. The main factor to keep him from getting that role was that he was already under contract for a different TV show,
Oh.
Jack of All Trades. Who here has seen Jack of All Trades? You've seen it. The best TV theme song of all time. It was Emmy nominated.
Oh.
Yeah, it was nominated for an Emmy. It lost to the West Wing,
Okay.
that boring White House show.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
yeah, but it was an Emmy nominated show.
Wow.
Great opening theme song. But he lost out to that. So that was a big TV role, like to have the leading role on a major TV show that's already established, already a ratings mega hit. So he lost out on that, or rather, yeah, I'd say he lost out on that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the major roles that Bruce lost on, has anyone ever seen Men in Black? We're just going to talk about Wild Wild West. What, Men in Black? Another Will Smith classic. Now, there's a character in there played by Vincent D'Onofrio, and that is, what is his name?
Edgar.
Edgar. He is the character who gets taken over by the bug. He's the main villain in the movie. A Steven Spielberg summer blockbuster, Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones. It could have been Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, Bruce Campbell, because Bruce Campbell was actually in line to play Edgar.
Yep.
Now, there's a controversial reason as to why he passed on that. He passed on this role. Has anyone ever seen the 1996 natural disaster mega hit Twister? He's a little bit of it. Has anyone ever seen the 1996 not such a mega hit natural disaster movie Tornado! Exclamation mark.
Do you have to add the exclamation mark?
It's
You
in the
do,
title.
it's
It's
in the title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you just say
I-
tornado excitedly then? Tornado!
I could have, but it does not excite me to talk about tornado. So I can't.
You can't do it, huh?
To me, it's just tornado! Exclamation mark.
Yep. So he ended up with the lead role.
He
in
got the lead
Tornado.
role in Tornado, which
Congratulations, right?
he nailed it. He said, "I'm not
Blew
playing.
me away.
I'm not playing second fiddle to Will Smith.
Not doing it.
I want the name on the top." And he made a
He made a
he
choice.
made a choice to do Tornado,
Crazy
which
thing about-
everyone here has seen. Yeah, no one's seen Tornado. No one's seen Tornado.
It's weird. It came.
Yeah.
Keep it that way. It's just
Yeah.
pieces. Keep it that way.
Yeah. It came out within days of Twister. It's
Within
really
days.
weird. And the plot beats were
It's super
pretty
weird.
similar. Yeah.
It's super weird. If
Yeah.
you watch it, there's definitely had to have been some kind of, I don't know, some kind of
Like
studio
studio
meddling in
espionage
some
or
way,
something.
going on.
Yeah.
Because there is, like, they have a little machine that they're using to track, they're using to track tornado data
Yep.
that looks a lot like Dorothy.
Literally, if you've seen Twister, you've seen Tornado, essentially.
Essentially.
Honestly, yeah. They were pretty
Was that
close.
certified groovy, though?
No, it was
No,
not.
no, it wasn't?
We
I
didn't
bought
certify groovy
that
then.
movie. I had to buy it on Prime because you can't rent it on Prime or you can't watch it on Prime for free. You have to buy it. I paid $7.99 for that movie. Never watch it again. $7.99.
She supported Bruce's career still. That's
Well, of course. I doubt he sees any money from that, but I'm sure somebody does.
I hope he does.
I'm sure he got paid a couple months worth of rent to do that.
So we've had X-Files and we've
Yep,
had Men in
Men in
Black.
Black.
What's our next one?
All right. We also
This is the one you like to
have-
talk about.
Yeah, we've got. He was almost in Supernatural.
Who's heard of that show? Who's watched Supernatural?
Supernatural.
Guys?
Heck
Supernatural?
yeah. So-
I have not seen Supernatural.
No?
Season 4, episode 8, wishful thinking, Ted Brady is in that.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Season 4, episode 8. Man,
I
you know your
thought
stuff.
about getting into it, but it's just like now it's over, and there's just so much. Like I feel like it's such a daunting
Yeah, I still,
task.
I
to,
still
like-
haven't finished it. I got
First
through a lot
5
of-
seasons are great. You should watch the first
You
5
love the
seasons.
Leviathan. You shut your mouth.
It is great all the way up.
Even the Leviathan?
7, 8, when it goes into 9, 10 minutes, like, dude, really? Move on. And then he gets back.
Right.
Yeah.
So where
So-
was he supposed to be in this
So
show?
he was going to come in. Well, they wanted Bruce Campbell for their 300th episode to come in and play John Winchester, the
Oh,
boy's
the
dad.
dad.
Yeah.
Oh, he would've been a good
They
dad.
approached
Yeah.
him for that, and then
Jeffrey Dean Morgan got that
yeah,
right.
he-
Negan,
what,
plays
which
that.
he had played before. They
Yeah.
were gonna, bring in Bruce as I think an older version.
Oh, okay.
And Jensen Ackles stated in an interview on the Inside of You podcast that he kind of talked about it. He didn't know if it was like for scheduling reasons or if Bruce turned it down, but they ended up not going with Bruce. But apparently they really wanted him to come in and play John Winchester. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know why they would have just changed well, they had trouble getting Jeffrey Dean Morgan to
Oh,
come
is this
back
in like
general.
Negan?
Yeah.
Like when he was playing Negan? Probably
yeah,
scheduling
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
Around
what
that
year was that
time?
one? Wait,
For the, it would have been the same
probably
time.
so
yeah,
probably
yeah.
conflicting there even.
Yeah.
Because he passed up on another role because of Burn Notice.
Yeah, so Bruce has been in every Sam Raimi movie except for one, notably one,
Yep.
Drag Me to Hell, which also he passed up on, didn't pass up, or scheduling conflicts between Burn Notice.
Yeah.
So that show, for all it's worth, it robbed us of Supernatural and
And
Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know I don't know where he would really fit in Drag Me to Hell. 'Cause Drag Me to Hell's got a kind of a, I don't know if it'd been weird to see him in that. I don't know.
Now, what Ted was in Drag Me to Hell, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Sure.
I don't know.
I
for sure.
shouldn't say things like that without having done the research.
Ted Raimi and Drag Me to Hell, anyone? All right, we'll get them on the research.
Okay. All right.
All right. Moving on.
We'll be corrected in the comments probably.
So another Sam Raimi movie that Bruce is in, kinda. Has anyone seen Darkman? Darkman. Darkman's a classic. It's one of those movies that people forgot about. Like it came out in the 90s. I remember being really big when I was a kid. And it just kind of lost and no one talks about it anymore. I read though that there is talks very recently, like up to like September of this year, where there's the possibility of a legacy sequel of Darkman, which would be cool. Liam Neeson coming back and everything. So Bruce is in that movie. The very last shot of the movie, Bruce is there. He's one of the masks that Darkman takes on. But an interesting thing about that movie, they had to go back and re-record some of Liam Neeson's lines because obviously when you're making a film, you don't always get everything. There's some spots that need to be filled. So they could not get Liam Neeson at the time. So some of the post-production lines of Liam Neeson is Bruce Campbell doing Liam Neeson impressions.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, some of the dialogue in Darkman is Bruce Campbell doing a Liam Neeson impression.
Which movie was? I can't remember where Bruce Campbell dubbed all the lines.
The Dead Next Door.
The Dead Next Door.
Has anyone seen that? That's
No.
a weird one. It's a shot-on-video zombie movie.
And Bruce is kind of in it.
It's advertised, Bruce Campbell, The Dead Next Door, starring Bruce Campbell. He's in the first name in the credits. You look in the credits, he's listed as a character. That character is in the movie the whole time. It's the main hero. It's just some guy.
It's not Bruce Campbell.
Some guy, but they went in post and took all the guy's dialogue out, and Bruce Campbell just does the whole movie
Just as
as
ADR.
dubbed him in.
So it's some guy with Bruce Campbell's voice in this really bad zombie movie from like the early 90s. It was shot, we're from Ohio. It was shot in Akron, Ohio, like not too far from where we live. And yeah, it's super weird. It's just a shitty zombie movie. And just
Starring Bruce Campbell.
And they did a thing that if anyone is a independent filmmaker, like want to do independent film, don't do this. There's a thing that independent filmmakers do when they think they're being clever, where it's like, oh, I've got all these characters. I'm going to name them after much better filmmakers. So Bruce, his character that he plays, he voices, is Captain Raimi. Yeah, Captain Raimi. I wonder who would have thought. And then there's other characters like there's like Carpenter and Craven and Romero and don't do that when you're making a movie. Don't remind the audience of better movies. Because there's also he does actually make an appearance in the movie.
Oh, does he?
There's one part where they go into like the zombie task force HQ because it's about these like zombies taking over the world. And there's like a police force that go around and very badly kill zombies. It's consistent where it's like, here, we're an elite team of zombie fighters, and they go out and just all die. And they'll there's a zombie here. I'm just going to like put my gun down, turn my back to it, that's basically the plot. And there's a scene early on when they go back to Zombie HQ, and they're watching Evil Dead. Just on the screen, Bruce Campbell's on the screen for couple seconds.
Just like a few frames,
I don't think we ever did find an explanation why it was done that way.
I would give my left
searched
to
real
know
hard.
why that decision was made.
A small portion of the budget from Evil Dead 2, Sam Raimi gave to these people to finish their movie. Because he's listed as a producer.
Right.
It's produced by Sam Raimi. So he must have just wanted to help out. Maybe he was like, hey, maybe we can get more people to watch this if we have Bruce Campbell.
If it stars Bruce Campbell.
Dub all your lead guys' lines. The guy that got to play the main character, though, kind of looks like Bruce Campbell, like a Wish.com Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell light.
Yeah, and he even does there's certain parts in the movie where he'll look into the camera, kind of like how Bruce will look at the audience. And he does stuff like that, and it's like this guy kind of looks a little like if you were
You just squint real hard.
Yeah, if you had like, really, if you got like stabbed in the eye and like glass in the other,
He looks
you
like
would
Bruce-
think like, this is a really bad Bruce Campbell movie. You would think like,
Where'd we leave off? I took.
Just off subject, there's another movie they did the same thing to.
okay,
When they made Tarzan with Christopher Lambert and Andy McDowell. Andy
Really?
McDowell's speech was too southern for proper English etiquette, so Glenn Close did all the lines that for Andy McDowell.
No
Wow.
kidding. Wow.
interesting.
Huh.
So maybe they're taking cues from that. I don't know.
Maybe,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe the guy just sounded like a hick. He's from Ohio.
So that, very possible.
I sometimes sound pretty rough, but
That's interesting.
yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
So did you have another missed role?
Yeah. Has anyone seen The Phantom? Has anyone ever seen that? Billy Zane, 1996 Phantom.
I did not put
Another one of those movies where it was
like,
like
I did not
when it
bring that
came out. I was a kid when it came out. I'd been like 6, 7, and it was like a big movie. 'Cause it had Billy Zane in it. In the 90s, Billy Zane was, not Billy Zane now, and he was actually like people were like, man, Billy Zane's in this movie. And I remember it vividly because the Phantom is basically this superhero from the 30s that Universal or someone got the rights to for cheap, and like, we're gonna make this into a big deal. And he wears like a purple body morph suit with a black mask, and he has a skull ring that makes him wear a purple suit.
Right.
And I remember the cover of that VHS having like one of those lenticulagraph covers where when you move it, the image changes. That's
We turn it back
literally
and forth,
graphic.
you get different.
that's
images.
literally the only thing I remember about that movie is that VHS cover. It's good marketing,
But
not a good movie. Well, Billy Zane was in that. That Billy Zane was a hot commodity in the 90s. He was a very bankable name. And there were 2 people up for the role at the end. It was Billy Zane and Bruce Campbell.
Whoa. Gee.
Bruce Campbell and Billy Zane. One of those 2 guys won't get the role.
wonder who.
History will tell us Billy Zane got it.
Huh.
The movie, huge financial, huge critical flop across the board. I mean, no one here knows what it is. I mean, I don't even remember what it's about.
I don't remember what it's about. I watched it as a kid. I thought it was cool. I didn't realize it was a flop.
Billy Zane in a purple suit. I
Yeah.
don't know.
He was like trying to protect this island or something from pirates or
Yeah,
Nazis or some crap.
something.
Yeah, there was like some sort of jungle setting going on, wasn't there? Yeah, I vaguely remember.
That the Nazis were after this specific relic to give them power.
I think it was the little skull ring.
Oh, so it's Indiana Jones with spandex.
Yes. Yes. It was Indiana Jones, it's Billy Zane in a purple morph suit. I remember the purple morph suit having like airbrushing on it to make him look muscular, which is always a good decision.
But they picked Billy Zane because they thought he was more bankable than
More bankable.
Bruce Campbell.
And
I think was the
Bruce has
term.
talked about it in the past as like this was a big major studio film because they thought the Phantom franchise had legs, and it didn't, but they thought it did. And I guess there was a lot of politics involved, and Bruce was not a fan of that because at this point he'd been doing things like Army of Darkness and Evil Dead, where he's with his friends and he knows everyone there. So I imagine the environment's a lot different when you get into something where there's a lot of studio push behind it. So he lost out on that role. So there are 5 roles that Bruce Campbell could have had, didn't. I mean, so I think out of all those roles, the biggest missing opportunity there was Men in Black.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
Absolutely.
to be a part of that movie, because it did good for Vincent D'Onofrio, who at that point was already doing pretty well for himself.
Oh yeah, and he was great in the role.
Yeah.
He
I
was.
think
He
he
was.
was.
Yeah.
But you can definitely see where it could have been Bruce in that. And he would have brought a whole different element to it, a lot more physical.
Yeah.
We could have like the Evil Dead, Ash Williams, physical humor,
Yeah.
which would have been great. But I think that's a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And why he decided to do Tornado over that, we'll never know. But he made that decision. And it's a decision. We stand by it. We got Tornado.
Yay.
We got
So
Tornado.
now we're going to try something. We've never done this before because we never had a live audience.
Never
You know,
had
we've-
a- never
we're,
had a
we're a
live audience
podcast. We're not a live. This is the very first time we've attempted to do anything live.
Are we doing a thing?
So Bruce Campbell has his game show Last Fan Standing, which is a great name.
It's a good
It's a,
name. It's a good name.
it's a damn good name. It pisses me off. That's a good name. It's only happened twice in my life where that's happened. You know, this, Last Man Standing, what a damn name. Why didn't someone come up with that? And then another one is there's this 2010 low-budget sci-fi movie called Warwolves that I thought, man, why
He
didn't I
is
think
so
of that?
upset about, I swear.
That's a genius name.
The amount of times I've
Warwolves.
heard this come up of War Wolves. He's like, why the fuck couldn't I come up with a movie and
How
name
could
it
no one
that?
have came up with that sooner? Why did it take 2010? Took mankind 2010 years.
Tyler's our possum. He loves trash cinema. So,
Yeah.
so we're going down here. Is that
Trash
what's
cinema, good names. Yeah, so we've came up with our own show, a game show kind of format, and I had to come up with a good name. Chin it to win it.
Chin it to win it.
That's pretty good.
It's all right.
That's a good one.
So I'm going to see who wants to be a volunteer first. First person.
Well,
raise
we
their
see
hand.
one person. We see one person.
Well,
Who
we'll see,
here
we'll see.
thinks they're a Bruce? Because I have 3 questions I'm going to ask you, and these are not easy questions. I'm not going to ask you what was Bruce Campbell's character in Evil Dead. These are deep dive, deep cut questions. So who here thinks they are a real deep cut Bruce fan and wants to take a shot at chinning it
Oh,
or
someone's
winning
about to
it?
get voluntold.
Who's feeling brave?
Who's feeling it?
There we go.
Your turn. All right.
Tyler,
all
you
right.
have this set up as multiple choice, don't you?
Yeah, they're multiple choice.
Well, let's save that
They're
as a
multiple
hint.
choice.
Let's see if she can get without the multiple choice.
Big fan, but I'm not like.
You're a big fan?
Okay. Well,
Nice.
I'm gonna try. We'll try
I don't
it.
know everything.
These
Not
are
a
pretty
super-
deep. These are
Pretty
pretty
deep. Well, yeah, save the multiple choice. We'll see if she
The
can
first
just get
one
him without the
Well, she
multiple
came in
choice.
late. She probably won't at the first one. We're gonna try it.
We'll see.
This-
State your name for legal
this one.
purposes.
Jen.
We got her, guys.
Yeah,
She's our
all right.
patsy now.
All right. Now, no one help her. So, which of these 1996 natural disaster films starred Bruce Campbell? Is it A, Tornado, B, Twister, or C, Night of the Twisters? All of which came out in 1996, within 3 weeks of each other.
So weird. So weird.
You were just saying tornado.
Tornado?
Tornado.
You got it. There we go. That's the first one.
See,
You nailed
you're
it.
on the board. Yeah, good. You're on the board.
You're 1/3 of the way there. Now, number 2, this one's a little tricky. What is the episode of Xena, Warrior Princess, in which Antilochus, played by Bruce Campbell, makes his series debut? In Xena, Warrior Princess, is it A, King of Thieves, B, Royal Couple of Thieves, or C, The Princess and the Thief?
Do 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 do. Oop.
What was the name of the first one again?
The first one is King of Thieves. Then there's Royal Couple of Thieves. And then The Princess and the Thief. This is Antilochus' debut in Xena, Warrior
I'm going
Princess.
with A, the King of Thieves. Is Autolycus the King of Thieves? Is his name?
No. Antilochus made his debut in Hercules
Right.
as in the episode The King of Thieves. But in Xena, Warrior Princess, he made his series debut in The Royal Couple of Thieves, where Antilochus and Xena team up to do some thieving.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep going. We're gonna keep
Go-
going.
keep
with you.
going?
Keep going. I'm gonna give her another
Right.
shot. We're gonna scratch that from the record. That never happened. It's
It
still
was
gonna
a
be on the
two out of
recording.
three.
It's still gonna be
Two
on
out of
the.
three.
It's still gonna be on the recording, but we'll choose to ignore it. So, on what film did Bruce meet his current wife Ira? Is it A, Time Quest, B, Moontrap, or C, Mind Warp? These are all Bruce Campbell movies.
Moontrap.
Damn, no.
He tried.
Mind Warp.
Mind warp.
Mind Warp. Anyone else want to take a shot?
He said it in If Chins Could Kill, and I mean, I read it and I
Yeah.
got the.
She was a set designer, I think, on
That was
Mind
in
Warp.
like 80.
91.
91?
91 maybe.
Because he met his.
90. It was 90. It was a Fangoria movie. The magazine did that.
When they met, right? Not when they got.
They met. Yeah, they met. They got married on Army of Darkness, right? I think. But they
I think
met.
so.
Yeah, I think they met on Mind Warp, or met at least on Mind Warp. I don't know when they got married.
Met on Mind Warp. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm a fan, but not super uber. I know everything fan.
Well, we're all
Love it.
fans. Yeah.
Let's give.
We're
Let's
all
give.
super
is
fans.
Give her
it
a round
Jen?
of applause.
Jen,
Yeah,
give her
she
a round
did
of
well.
applause.
We'll try
Thank you
one
very
more.
much.
This right here, I'm gonna give someone another shot. Who wants to try it?
Oh,
Yeah, you
there
wanna
we
try
go.
it? All
There
right,
we go.
all
We
right.
got one. Or another one. Another one. Come on, stand up on up here. There we go. State your name for legal purposes again.
Ben?
And we got
Ben.
another Patsy guy.
All right.
All right.
So many patsies.
So, what is the name of the short film starring Bruce Campbell, directed by Sam Raimi, that would become The Evil Dead? So, before Evil Dead, there was a movie that came out that's basically, if you watch it, it's Evil Dead. Yeah, it's 30 minutes.
Yep. Yep.
Is it A, Dead Woods, B, Book of the Dead, or C, Within the Woods?
Is it Book of the Dead?
No.
That's the script.
Damn it. That was the script for the.
We'll scratch it. Everyone gets a strike one.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah. These are deep cuts. Here we go.
2 out of 3. Yeah.
Which Raimi brother was Bruce Campbell's character from the 2005 Alien Apocalypse film named after? Or he's a homage to. Pardon me. Is it A, Ted, B, Ivan, or C, Sam? I'll give you a hint. It's not the obvious one.
Is it Sam?
No. Ivan. It's interesting. That movie, he plays Ivan Hood, is the character. Ivan Hood is an osteopath. Ivan Raimi is an osteopath.
Thanks for playing.
Random little thing.
All right.
Let's
who's-
give Ben a round of applause.
Ben, a round of
Thank you.
applause. All right.
Does anyone else want to try it? Oh, it's sudden death. One question. We'll do that.
She's doing
Yeah.
it.
All right.
All right. This one is a deep cut.
Oh, we better get your name for Patsy's sake, too.
Julie.
We got Julie, guys.
Julie.
We got
Julie,
okay. Options for
That's-
our crimes now.
All right.
3 patsies now.
Yeah, this is a deep cut one. So
All right. Drink of water. He's preparing for this
my throat's getting a little dry. I've been talking
deep
a lot.
cut.
All right.
No, take your time. It's fine.
So, well, you can cut around it. We'll fix it in post. Bruce Campbell starred in this unaired pilot based on what Kevin Costner film? So it's an unaired pilot. They shot one episode. It's based on a Kevin Costner film from the 90s. Is it A, Tin Cup, B, Waterworld, or C, The Bodyguard?
I want to say Waterworld.
Waterworld.
No, The Tin Cup.
Really?
That golf movie, yeah.
He was going to do a golf movie? Are you
TV
sure?
show.
TV show.
Wow, I didn't even know that one.
It was called Missing Links for some reason. I don't know why they didn't call it Tin Cup. But he plays the role of Kevin Costner. They shot it, never released it. I don't think anyone's ever seen it.
It's a deep
Yeah,
cut.
if you know, I knew it.
He did know it. He brought it to the table.
It can't be not fair. I knew it.
Listen,
Bruce has consumed a lot of my life.
Listen, he didn't drag us into a Call to Camel podcast for no reason. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah, let's reverse it. There we go.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
interesting. Let's do it.
All right.
Stump tie.
Stump tie. That's the new thing.
Yeah.
What TV series did Bruce Campbell play a witch hunter in?
A what?
Tyler, a witch hunter.
Oh, Charmed.
Ba-boom.
Ba-boom. Who wants to stump tie? There we go.
Okay. This is a much better way to do it.
What movie does Bruce Campbell actually play a more serious role as a terrorist?
Icebreaker.
Yep.
Boom.
All right.
Boom. Who's
Anyone
got
else?
another one?
Anyone else want to try to stump tie?
I wouldn't call
like,
that
look,
a serious.
you just
I-
heard
gotta put
everything
time
he
in
just
his
said.
place.
I wouldn't call that one a serious one. I want to watch that movie again. Cause like that movie, it stars Sean Astin from The Goonies. Really bad movie. It's another Die Hard knockoff. And one thing I found interesting about that movie is I didn't know that ski resorts, rocket propelled grenades are just like everywhere.
They're
Like
just
RPGs are just commonplace at ski resorts. In that movie, I think everyone has an RPG in that movie.
Do you have a stump tie? He's got a stump tie.
All right.
He's taking the microphone.
You got 10 minutes here. You're good.
In what animated movie from 2009, what role did Bruce play?
Animated
It's
movie.
Cloudy with a
2000.
Chance of Meatballs. And he was the mayor. Mayor,
Yeah,
I don't know his name. He's the mayor.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just called him the mayor a lot of the time.
I think so.
I'm not sure if he came out with a name, really.
Anyone else will take a shot?
We've got to bring Ty down. Come on, somebody. Something super obscure.
I know a lot. It's
Or
it takes
super
a lot of my
high
time. The scary thing is, I know more about Bruce Campbell than I do about my actual job, which is scary. I work as an airfield engineer, and I know a very small percentage of that compared to what I know about
I hope
Bruce.
your guys' flights home are safe.
Yeah, hopefully your flights are safe. They should be. I was off this week, so.
Anyone else got another stumper?
What movie did he play? What would be considered a traditional damsel in distress type role?
He played a damsel in distress. Man,
Did we get him? We might have got him.
Mike got me. He played the damsel in distress.
Pretty much. He was the damsel in distress.
I'm trying to think of movies where Bruce has been saved. You got me on that one.
Ooh.
Stumped.
We got a winner. We
down.
stumped Ty. All
Put me
right.
down.
Maniac Cop.
Ah, that's
That's so obvious. How'd you?
obvious.
Yep.
Here,
You're right.
Here, she gets,
That's. Hey, there we
she can
go.
have that.
There you go.
Either super
You got
obscure
a
or
prize
super
for that.
obvious.
You won
there
a
we go.
thing.
But there you go.
All
won a
right.
thing.
That was fun. That was
you
fun.
go.
That was fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is our first live show. We had time change, so that I think that kind of hurt us a little bit. But we thank you guys for coming. And a real quick question: prior to BruceFest, how many of you guys knew there was a Bruce Campbell podcast called Call to Campbell?
Boom.
Just used to. Yeah, he kinda. Okay.
2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
Well, we're Call to Campbell. We come out every other Monday. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you find your podcasts. It's right there, available everywhere you find your favorite podcast.
Lots of
This could be one
episodes,
yours.
lots of
A lot of
backtracks
episodes.
to go
We've been
listen
doing
to.
this for about a year
And a half.
year and a half now, going on 2 years. We've covered a lot. We've done a lot. Selena and everyone here at BruceFest were super welcoming and letting us be a part of this, and we can't
A
thank
huge
them enough.
honor to be here.
Yep,
We
shout out to
very
our
much
tech crew in the
appreciate
back.
Shout out to the
Round
tech
of
crew.
applause. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
round of applause for those guys. And a round of applause for you guys. You guys are the first audience we've ever been in front of. And you guys are the largest audience we've ever performed in front of. So congratulations.
Thank you guys
yourself on
so
that.
much
grew
for
over
coming
time.
out.
Huh?
It did grow over time, too.
It did grow over time. Yeah, people trickled in.
No, we very much appreciate you guys coming out for this. We know who you're really here for, and so it was great of you to come and spend this time with us.
Yeah, and I think it's humbling that you guys would travel such large distances to come here to see us.
Yeah, just to come see us exclusively.
Yeah.
We appreciate
God,
that out
Rick.
of you.
It's a great honor.
I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. This has been
Ty's
Call to
head swelling
Campbell.
up.
This has been Call to Campbell. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere at Cult Talk Net. That's our network, our podcast network. We have a ton of podcasts. Call to Campbell is just one of them. We have Call to Lore, which deep dives in the lore-based stuff. We have Cult Talk Conspiracy, my show, where we talk about conspiracies. We have a bunch of YouTube exclusives where we just review random movies for the hell of it for holidays and stuff.
Yep.
So make sure you guys follow us there. I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
And I've been Michael.
Stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby. That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.